right, everybody. This is Jason Morales with Nova Jade Cosmetics. We have a new segment that I want to go over with other women, which is called Women of Success Stories, where we will be allowing women to come on the Nova Jade YouTube channel and talk about their offers, their business, their entrepreneurship, as well as the path to success that they have taken along with all the obstacles. Today, we are going to talk about a woman named Jesica Hernandez. Jesica Hernandez is a 33-year-old stock market investor and mentor who helps people learn how to profit in any market type and even know when the bottom of a crash or correction is. By eliminating the fear from investing in the market, Jess has coached over 100 clients to remove self-doubt and gain the confidence they need in order to start investing to reach financial freedom sooner. Jess was raised by a single mom, and as an only child, she had to learn how to do things for herself at a very young age. Knowing she wanted more financial security for herself, Jessica invested over $50,000 into personal development and investing education programs. By the age of 26, Jessica was managing her own retirement portfolio after being laughed at when she fired her previous financial advisor. Despite Jessica's outward appearance and disadvantaged background, she proves that anyone can understand and profit in the stock market given the right education and skills. For anyone that has doubted themselves and wonders if they will ever be financially free, Jessica patiently guides people to improving their confidence and shows them how to do it on their own without spending hours in front of a screen trading every week. As she grows and expands in different areas of her life, Jessica's mission remains to empower and educate thousands of people to reach financial freedom who otherwise don't know where to turn. How's it going, Jessica?
It's great, Jason. Thanks for having me. I'm your first guest, huh?
Oh yeah, no, episode one. It's good to have you, because money's a subject I like to talk about, and I know there's a lot of different ways to make it, whether it's from like actually having a business where you're executing plans to provide a service or a product, or maybe even doing something like what you're doing with coaching, and then also making money trading stocks and stock options. So Jessica actually runs her own business for trading stock options. But before we get to that, I actually want to talk to Jessica about what she did prior to getting into stock options and trading in the stock market. So Jessica, I'm not sure how far back you'd like to go, but before you got into making money on the market, what kind of jobs were you doing for like your regular employment?
Well, the reason why I went to college was I thought I was going to be a vet. So I have like a crazy, just random history of job employment. I was a kennel tech. I worked with tigers in Thailand. I was a tiger trainer.
That's awesome.
Um, I was a dancer. I was an actress. I also worked at an airline. That was my last employed job before I started my business.
So you kind of had an adventurous lifestyle of being able to travel and do work. How did you like Thailand? Were you there for a while?
Yeah, I was actually a teacher in Thailand for 6 months, and that's all that I planned to stay there. But I ended up falling in love with my students. I stayed for the full year. I came back to San Diego for the summer, hated it, and so I went back for another 6 months in Thailand.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's always nice to like develop like a sense for culture and other places. It kind of helps you grow and really find yourself. I at least believe that. I notice a difference between people who kind of like travel and live in other places. Mindset is different than people who've just been like in the same 20 mile circumference their whole life. And so
Yeah.
you went to school to be a veterinarian. You worked around tigers and animals. So what made you want to stop working around animals and pursue something else?
For me, I get bored really easily. So if I have a job that's very repetitive, it kind of just drives me crazy. And it's kind of like mind numbing for me. So the stock market, I mean, it's always changing. There's thousands of companies to look at. It's just always different every day. And it's a challenge. So that's why I like the stock market.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like a race. It's almost like you and everybody who's playing on the stock market, regardless of what field, whether it's stock options, futures, regardless, you have all these people that you're like being competitive with, and like y'all don't even know each other or anything, and y'all trying to get like the best deals on the market and try to get in and out of stuff and not be the bag holder at the end of the day. And there's a culture that I really like about trading stocks. So I've been a part of different trading groups to where we have chats and stuff to where all we talk about is just anything related to making money on the stock market. And there's times I've been like hovering in my seat, been like, oh my God, like I'm like so absorbed in how much awesome information there is to like make money and stuff. Have you ever been a part of any I would say groups to like learn about trading stocks? I know you said you invested a lot of money. Could you emphasize what kind of training that you invested in to specifically gain like a higher insight or knowledge and skill in the stock market?
Yeah, so it started with just conferences, free conferences that I would go to, and then there'd be people on stage promoting their products. So I started with just a video series, just learning through video trainings, but that really falls short. I feel like it's just not enough. So the next program that I invested in was like a mentorship where it was weekly for 6 months, and it cost a lot of money. It was like $15,000, but that was through video, and it was there wasn't a big sense of community in it, but it did help me enough to actually get going and feel confident to put my money in the market finally.
Well, so it was like a video course, or was it like you doing something like through Zoom or video conference?
It was a group coaching program, but like you didn't interact with the other clients or students. So yeah, I was really just kind of like watching a teacher speak.
Okay, I understand. So you've invested in education, and you said you finally got comfortable to put your own money in the market. So what happened with that experience when you first jumped in?
I mean, it was scary, the first time you go in the market, at least for me, I was terrified. I started with a $2,000 in my account. I made $40 profit. So it was a 2% return. And it was the most conservative strategy that they recommended to get started. However, within the first year, something happened in China, which caused the economy to kind of, take a little dip for a minute, and I
Yeah.
panicked. I didn't go by the system, and I let fear take advantage, and I actually lost $18,000 on that trade.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
had a very traumatizing first year in the market, but I mean, I took some time off. I kind of collected myself, came up with the strategy that I do now, and I've just been consistent with it ever since.
Yeah, having a strategy, I would say prior to executing any money into an investment, I always recommend people to like have their strategy to get out before they get in. Me personally, I use technical charts to kind of like find different areas of support and resistance to find like the highest probable area where I think the price will hit, and then
Mhm.
I'll typically bet along with that movement and watch where the price is going, what the volume of things like that in. And I try not to be too surprised with options and stuff. Though you have other things to take in account, like the Greeks, for instance, like delta and theta and gamma. And if you don't pay attention to certain things like this, like when I first got into options, like I got lucky and I made a lot of money, and I was like, oh sweet. And then these were options I was like flipping in and out, so I wasn't exercising any of them. I was trying to get out of them as soon as possible. And one of them went up like 3 days in a row, and I was like, oh, I should let it ride up some more. I should let it ride some more instead of like cutting, taking profit and stuff. and my delta was like stupid low. And even though the price was going up, like the next day, my value in that investment was getting eaten up and stuff. So I was like losing money on the trade, even though the price of the asset was going up, because I had like maybe like 15 or 20 delta, you know, and I didn't know that that was like low or something I needed to watch for. So after I took that hit, then I made it a purpose to do everything to learn about the Greeks and stuff like that, to like manage my stock option trading better. So is there anything I would say like an indicator that's like your go-to to go judge whether a stock or a stock option is going to be good for you to trade or not?
I like looking at volume and open interest, just to make sure that other people are also doing this trade. You're not going to be the one person doing a trade in the world, which would probably say that it's probably not the best to make. Also, another thing that I look at is, at least if you trade on Thinkorswim, they have probability out the money, and that can be a comforting indicator to let you know whether or not you're going to be put the stock or have it called away.
That's pretty cool. You know, Thinkorswim, I feel like that's one of my favorite trading platforms overall. Like that's like the adult casino. Whenever I go in there and see all the little laser lights of all the indicators I can like push up and everything dinging. I like that, you know. I actually, the guy who created Thinkorswim, his name's Tom Snozoff. He created that and then sold it. He's a billionaire. He has another trading platform that's specifically for options. So I wanted to ask you about this, about different option strategies like iron condors and things of that nature. On a platform like Tasty Trade, which is specifically for trading options, if you don't know how to set up iron condor or any of these crazy sounding strategies, they have little click it type easy things to like set it up for you and stuff, which I thought was really cool because I didn't understand these other strategies, to where if you weren't directionally right with like whether the price was going to go up or down on a stock option, that you could implement these other strategies to still accrue money and stuff, which I find interesting. I didn't know if maybe you might be into something like that, or if you teach anything related to more advanced option strategies.
So I actually don't, because that was my issue. When I first started learning how to trade options, they will teach you dozens and dozens of different strategies. And it can be very overwhelming if you're a beginner. You're just going to get information overload. There's going to be all
Yeah.
these names, butterfly, iron condor. Like there's just so much that for a beginner, it's just too much. Like that's why I felt frozen. Like I was just getting more and more information, but it didn't give me the confidence to actually go in the market. So I actually literally only do two, sometimes three option trading strategies, and that's it. And that's all I teach my clients. And I am very focused and intentional about it, so they don't have to get all overwhelmed with everything else. Now, from there, like I have clients who want to learn more, and they can, but with the foundations of the three strategies that I teach, now at least they understand options. They know something they can always fall back on. It's not as scary to get into the weeds after that.
That's pretty awesome. So do you coach people how to like hands-on like use platforms or anything of that nature?
Yeah. I teach all my clients on Thinkorswim. I have international clients, which I used to teach on interactive brokers, but I don't really want to take any more international clients. Interactive brokers is just not user friendly. Like Thinkorswim, if you're American or Canadian, you have access to it. Highly recommend. That's just the easiest platform to learn on, in my opinion. And their customer service is really great. Like
Oh
every time
yeah.
I've called them, it's super helpful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they put a lot into that platform, and I would say most high level like professionals who are typically trading like hedge fund level money use Thinkorswim as well. It's just like an all-in-one package of everything that you need, whether you want stocks or options or futures. So let's say you got into trading and you were still, I assume, doing other professions at that time. How long did it take you to kind of be full-time invested in teaching about the market and trading?
Well, I would say March 20 when COVID happened. Like I had been waiting for a crash for years. Like ever since I started learning how to invest in 2015, my mentors would talk about, oh, there's a crash. We're going, be ready for it's going to happen soon. The market cyclical about every 8 to 10. So just like my whole experience of trading, I had been waiting for this moment in March 2020 and I took advantage. And that year, I mean, I made 189% ROI. Like I was just trading once a month. So I lost the question.
So you're not too aggressive with your trading. So you're not like trading every day on a regular basis currently.
No.
Okay.
No, I could never trade like that. Like I
It's
never
well
wanted to trade my
learned.
time for money. Yeah, I never wanted to trade my time for money. So that's why I just do like a monthly option strategy where me and my clients, we literally only have to trade once a month. Some of my clients like to trade once a week, but other than that, I don't want people glued to the screen, worried about like small changes. That's just too much, I get
Yeah,
too
kind
anxious
of
for that.
overwhelming where it develops those emotions and your emotions start triggering you to make bad trading decisions, which typically make you lose money. You got FOMO, buying into stuff without knowing anything about it just because the herd is doing it. The quickest ways for a new person to lose money, in my opinion. So let's say about how long. So like if you say, hey, I have interest in a stock, I'm going to start doing my due diligence on it. Usually about how long does it take you to do research to decide if you want to trade a stock option or not?
If it's a brand new company that I've never looked at before, it would probably take 20 to 30 minutes. Like, I don't think that's too much time. I have certain indicators that I look for and I run it through my stock calculator, which I kind of analyze the current price versus what I think the fair price of a stock is. And that'll influence my trade as well as technical analysis looking at the charts.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, definitely want to look at multiple angles and stuff to figure things out. I always feel like the more information you have about an investment, the more clear you will see what its potential is in the future. Um, Now you trade options, and I assume you might do stock trading. Is there any other investing, maybe in cryptocurrency or real estate or any other investing that you are implementing or might implement later on into your courses?
So yeah, I've been asked about that. I do personally a little crypto, but it's more long term for me in that. I am currently trying to get into the NFT space and learning how to flip them and figure out stuff. It's crazy to me. I'm trying to like I feel so lost about it right now, but maybe
It's
one day.
new. It's new. It's like, the easiest way I tell people. So like, let's say if you already have like a product like some shoes or something, and you sell them on your own e-commerce website and you sell them in your own brick and mortar building, and you're like, you know what, I want to sell them on another market. So you put them on eBay and Amazon and Etsy, and those are all markets where you can sell that. To where the NFT market, it can act as another market to where the NFT acts as like access to your product or your service. So just how you can put an existing product on Amazon or eBay or Etsy, you can put an existing product for sale on an NFT market, and the image or the art on the NFT can represent access for your service or your product. So it's more or less you're using blockchain technology to access a membership, and using crypto to pay for these things, rather than having like a Amazon membership to where you're using US dollars and debit and things of that nature. So it's just really technology kind of changes up the game on how to access that. And if you remember during like the 90s, when like a home computer got like really popular for people to have, there was a lot of people that were like, I'm not learning about a computer, I'm not gonna type, you know, and they got phased out of the workforce, to where if you didn't know how to type, guess what, you're gonna go work in a warehouse instead. Like you can't use Excel or word processor programs to help us keep certain data like at stake. Like, let's get you another job that pays less and it's probably more backbreaking. And you know, you really got to like think at like one moment if you're going to like take the reins. And I feel like that's what people are doing, like when they come to someone like you, trying to like take the reins and learn new skills and take themselves out of these positions where they don't have like a whole lot of control over what their future could be monetarily wise, whenever they're just listening to someone else doing what they want them to do. I don't know if that makes sense. Kind of went off on a tangent there.
Yeah, I'll ask you more about that later, but I like that perspective. I haven't thought of it like that before.
You know, so like when I got into stocks, I thought you had to have like a college math degree and stuff. I was like in my mid-20s, it was 2008. And I was in Afghanistan. I was in Afghanistan, and like we had internet access to where we could access necessary things like our bank. And like my bank had a trading platform, and I didn't know about that. There were some pilots that were like, dude, market just crashed, like what are you doing with your money, you know, because they had like a bunch of money in savings, but like I didn't know anything about investing. They're like, you need to put your money in Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae and all these things when they were like a quarter or something like that. And I made a lot of money. And I thought it was unreal. I thought it was unreal how fast I could make money by just kind of like shifting it and putting it into different accounts and letting it do its thing. So when I got back from Afghanistan, I'm telling you, I was at the library renting out every book about trading, stock trading. And one of the books I got was called Rule Number One, to where it teaches you about fundamentals, fundamental analysis. Say again.
By Phil Town?
Yes, by Phil Town.
Yeah, that was my mentor. That was one of my mentors.
Yeah. So I'm here reading Phil Town in 2009 in the spring, and I'm telling you, I went through his second chapter and I learned so much just in that chapter on how to like go through a stock index and pick good companies that I already know about. And one thing that I learned from that book is start in your house with companies that you buy into. So think about like if you have a brand toaster or some pans or some bath towels or some toothpaste or orange juice or something that you gotta have, or a computer brand, and you go through and mark and write down all these companies, and you go and see on Google Finance, do they have a stock? Because the reason why, you know, a person should start at home with things that they're already purchasing, because they're expert consumer on that company and that product. They know why people buy into what they're selling, whether it's a product or service. And I feel like that's one thing I really recommend anybody who's getting into stocks, period, to just learn is try not to make it complicated and start with companies you already know everything about. Is there anything that you would suggest people who don't know anything about stocks or options? Is there anything that you would suggest someone to learn, or maybe get a hold of a resource or something to get their road started?
I mean, exactly what you said, like that's in my first lesson in my course is, you know, pick companies that have meaning to you, that you're familiar with, because when you go deeper into them, you know, if you're a heavy environmentalist, I'm not going to like try to make you invest in oil. Like I want things to align to the client as an individual. So make sure you are investing in things that you like, that you are familiar with, especially to start. You want to make it as easy as possible when you start, because if you try to get deep into the complicated stuff, you're probably just going to like resist it and not end up following through.
Yeah.
So I mean, my best suggestion is just find somebody who you know is successful at it, somebody that you like, relate with, and then just try and like get their free stuff. And then if you are really committed, the best way to learn is to invest. Like putting money on the line, it's going to prove to yourself that you're serious. And having that accountability, it really helps you just absorb the information even more.
And I know you have programs that people can invest in for you to teach them. Like, how would someone be able to access you to see these programs or any of your content so they could get a feel for what it is you're doing in stock options?
So my biggest platform that I use is Facebook. So facebook.com/its.jess.me. That's one way. Otherwise, my website right now is under construction. So basically for my Facebook, you can find everything like my hyperlinks to my website or my platform. If you just want to buy the digital pro first, you can have access to it there. If you wanted to get like one-on-one individual coaching from me every week, then that's something where you would need to reach out, and then we can talk about like where you are and how we can help.
That's awesome. Okay. So one thing I also wanted to ask you about with you having people access you on Facebook, would they be able to get digital files for like a course? I'm not sure if you sell a course also, or is it just mentorship?
Yeah, I sell a digital course. The link's on my Facebook. I'm going to send you the link as well. I host my membership program or my training program on Thinkific. And so there's this website for that as well.
Okay, so we'll definitely make sure we put those links in the descriptions as her website develops. Make sure you go on Facebook and find Jesica Hernandez and add her to your network. Jessica, I think what you're doing in finance is amazing, because I think teaching is amazing when you can give somebody else a skill and they can benefit from that skill and do something bigger with it, such as supplement their finances and give themselves more financial freedom to where they can take track and control of their retirement accounts and not just leave it up to fate that a 401k or someone's going to do the right thing with your money. So
Yeah.
I would highly suggest to contact Jesica Hernandez if you want to learn more about stocks, stock options, and trading stock options, and tell your friends about her. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see everybody at our next episode. It was great having you on, Jessica. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason.
Yes, sir. Man, look, they don't even know who